If you have been recently laid off or you're sitting at home sending out dozens of resumes into a silent, automated hiring void, take a breath. I need you to hear this clearly. You did not fail. The system you trusted broke. Being laid off, unemployed, or unprepared for retirement between the ages of 35 and 65 is terrifying. You watch your severance or your savings count down day by day. Even the entry level applicants aren't getting favored over your years of experience. And every morning brings that heavy, sinking knot in your stomach asking, what is my family going to do when the safety net runs out? Or what am I going to do if I run out of savings? Waiting around for another company to grant you an interview is playing defense with your life. The job market is not bouncing back on your timeline, but your bills would not wait. You need a dependable, high profit cash engine that you control starting right from your kitchen, table, or spare room. One that can replace a corporate salary in the next 60 days without answering to a hiring manager ever again. So let's talk about how 3 to 4 units stops the bleeding of your savings. When you're out of work, you don't have 6 months to build a complicated business or make $5 commissions on affiliate links. You need large, meaningful margins immediately. If you need just immediate grocery money this week, doing 2 30-minute labor only builds brings in $100 a day. When you step into full custom builds, just 3 units a month clears $4,500 in clean net profit depending on where you're positioned. And I will teach you that here. With custom and medical wig manufacturing, you aren't trying to sell 500 cheap items to strangers. You're solving a critical, deeply personal need for a small number of paying clients. Let's look at the cold hard numbers for a single unit with hair included. So the raw materials, which are the caps, the hair, and the sourcing, is $300 to $500 for a pretty decent quality hair. It could be more, it could be less. You sell that retail for 1,500 to 2,300 on the high end and maybe 500 on the low end. Net profit directly in your pocket. If we're talking high end, and we're definitely going to be trying to push forward and harder for the high end customers, that's going to be $1,200 to $1,800 per unit profit in your pocket. And once you practice good enough, your production time is going to be less than 1.5 hours on the machine, including styling if that's requested, or you can outsource that. So here is the salary replacement math. 3 units a month, $4,500 net profit. If that includes the hair, the service, you're going for the high end customers. That covers your baseline mortgage and bills. 4 units a month, $6,000 net profit. It replaces average full time salary. 7 units a month, $10,500 net profit. And that is your executive level compensation, which exceeds corporate executive pay. I think so. I know it probably exceeded the pay that you may have received at your last job. If not, this is a great way to supplement. Now, look at that first one, that first row. 3 custom units a month brings in $4,500 in clean net profit. That pays your mortgage, covers your groceries, and keeps the lights on. That is roughly 3 to 15 hours of physical machine work in an entire month. That's including styling, if they want all of that. If you don't know how to style, of course, I'll be teaching you that, or you can outsource it. You don't need 100 customers to survive. You need 3 to 4 high end clients a month to completely take your life back. And I'm going to teach you how to find those clients. When you don't have a job, you have the one asset employed people don't: focus time. Here is how you use your next 60 days with military precisions. And it might honestly be a little bit quicker than this, but hey, it depends on you. So from weeks 1 to 3, I'm going to teach you pure machine calibration. You're going to treat this like your new 9 to 5. You're going to clock into your machine for a focused 2-hour daily shift every day. You build 2 practice units from start to finish. You master the mechanics so thoroughly that you can build with total confidence. Weeks 4 to 6, you're going to do the local outreach and strategic positioning, which is something I will directly teach you. You don't need a massive social media following. Honestly, you don't need a social media following at all. You take your units to your friends, your family, and you show them what you're doing. And I also teach you exactly who else will help you purchase your units and how you can get in front of the right people to purchase your units. I'll also teach you how to get into the high end category. Like I said, it's very easy to get into the low end, and I'm pretty sure you can figure that out on your own, but I'll also teach that as well. And then week 7 to 8, it's going to be cash collection and zero risk builds. You take your first 2 to 3 client orders with a 50% upfront deposit. That deposit pays for 100% of the raw materials before you stitch a single line. You have zero out of pocket inventory risk. You deliver the unit, collect the remaining 50%, and put $1,500 of pure profit in the bank on day 60, depending on your positioning. It could be more, it could be less. And here's why this is a recession proof skill. Corporate jobs get cut when budgets tighten, but medical hair loss from hormonal changes, thyroid conditions, alopecia, and treatments do not stop for a recession. Women dealing with hair loss are actively looking for someone trustworthy, patient, and discreet. And when they find you, they aren't shopping around for a discount. They are paying for your expertise, your empathy, and a custom piece that allows them to walk out into the world with their head held high. When you hold a skill that solves a painful, real world human problem, you become unfireable. And even in a worst case scenario where no money is being made, everyone, it's all hands on deck, you could also use this sewing machine for other things like shoe repair, upholstery repair, hat repair. You can make hats. The list goes on, and we'll, of course, go through that as we build further on this skill. Now, listen to me. I know the biggest fear holding you back right now is I just lost my job. I can't afford to drain my remaining savings or severance on sewing machine equipment or supplies. Or maybe you haven't lost your job. You're just still a little bit concerned about how you're going to do this and what it's going to look like for you. Let me tell you, you don't need to touch your personal emergency cash. You don't need to touch your savings. You don't need to use your money for the most part. You don't even have to risk your grocery money to set up your home workshop. In my next video, I show you the exact system I used to secure dedicated 0% business credit to fund an entire workstation, machines, and initial supplies without putting my personal savings on the line. And before we get to the next point, if you support free education, please hype the video, like to fuel the algorithm and show immediate support, share this video to spread the knowledge to your peers and communities, comment to join the discussion and share your experience, and most importantly, subscribe to lock in your access to all future blueprints, free tutorials, and guides. So last but not least, if you are wondering how much it costs to start, you don't need personal savings. Watch my video on how I set up my workshop using business credit. Click right here and let's get you back on solid ground. Thank you.